Cabrini Extension Area, Portrait of a Chicago Slum, which depicted in lurid detail the neighborhood the agency hoped to replace. Houses, black with age and weathered with soot, lean precariously, and their uneven roof lines form crazy quilt patterns against the sky. Chimneys tilt, eaves sag, rags stick out from broken windows, and doors without knobs stand open. There are few backyards. There can't be, when most of the lots contain two houses. Even the cover page sought to convey the ghetto in high squalor. A trompe-l'oeil effect made the paper look burned and crumpled, as if found in one of the grubby alleys. The title was lettered in thick markered graffiti script, with a drawing of a cockroach scuttling past the second I in Cabrini. The employees of the Chicago Housing Authority in 1950 weren't paper-pushing functionaries. They were self-proclaimed liberal do-gooders, many of them coming to the agency from social work. Their portrait of the near North Side was meant to offend. They believed the slums of Chicago were killing people. House fires, infant mortality, pneumonia, tuberculosis, all occurred there at many times the rate found in the rest of the city. Poor housing conditions, the CHA noted, were contributing as well to high incidences of divorce, juvenile delinquency, and crime. The staff saw its work as a rescue mission. They needed to rid the city of blight. Houses work magic, their boss at the agency, Elizabeth Wood, would say. Give these people decent housing, and the better forces inside them have a chance to work. 99% will respond. Wood was an unlikely government official in the Chicago of the Democratic machine. She'd previously taught poetry at Vassar College and published a novel about an unhappily married woman who imparts her frustrations onto her children. A psychological study of merciless persecution, a reviewer wrote. She moved to Chicago to work for a welfare agency, but found the job ineffectual. She wanted to do more than scribble notes as desperate clients detailed their wants. When the CHA was formed in 1937, she took over as its executive director. Private enterprise had failed to provide the agency's minimal requirement of a decent, safe, and sanitary home for all. The near North Side district was just one of the woeful examples that the CHA brandished as proof. Wood feared not that the city's new public housing projects might be too large, coming to define an area as low rent, but that they wouldn't be large enough to counteract the ravages of poverty and disrepair around them. If it is not bold, she said, the result will be a series of small projects, islands in a wilderness of slums beaten down by smoke, noise, and fumes. One of the islands Wood and her team hoped to expand was next to the near North Side slum. In 1942, the CHA opened the Francis Cabrini Homes, 586 dwellings in barracks-style 2- and 3-story buildings. Federal rules established that public housing be built to minimum standards, using materials and designs unmistakably inferior to those found in market-rate housing. The Cabrini row houses were simple and unadorned, arranged in parallel columns like lines of parked tractor trailers. But in the neglected river district, they stood out as an oasis of order and modernity. Like a challenge to the existing decay, the CHA declared. Each of the Cabrini homes featured a gas stove, an electric refrigerator, a private bath, and its own heat controls. The buildings were made of fireproof brick, and the development was laid out so that parents could watch from their apartments as children played in communal courtyards. When you come upon one of Chicago's public housing developments, it is like stepping into a different world, the CHA rhapsodized in an early brochure. Everywhere you see green. Green of lawns, green of shrubbery, green of trees. Pleasant, vine-covered buildings stand in harmonious groups, with plenty of space left for sun and air and children's